Alright, how's it going? This is an unboxing of a Mountain Laurel Design Core 22. You know, ultra lightweight gear is the hardest gear to make a video about. A lot of people are really sensitive about it. A lot of people really like Z-Packs and Enlightened equipment. Personally, I really like Mountain Laurel Designs, Bear Paw Wilderness, and Mountain Hardware. I also like Patagonia. You know, but most of the negative comments that I get and most of the thumbs down buttons that I get on YouTube are from ultra lightweight gear, specifically Mountain Hardware and Mountain Laurel Designs. You know, just because people are really sensitive about it, everybody has their own style of sciencing it out, making decisions about, you know, how Cordura, Robic, and Dyneema react to water, how much they weigh, how strong they are, etc. And, you know, when people watch the videos and the information that they wanted isn't in the video, they're sensitive about it. And so I just want to put it out there in the beginning that, you know, I've already owned a Core 22. I had a Wasabi Green Core 22 that I loved. It was my go-to. I accidentally left it on the bus and it disappeared. The Core 22 for Mountain Laurel Designs is so light that you can't really feel it when you're wearing it if it's empty. And I didn't realize that I didn't have it on. I got off the bus and I left. Somebody grabbed it. The other thing about the Wasabi Green Dyneema X Core 22 is that it's very difficult to see in the dark. It's possibly the most stealthy pack in the world because during the day you look really cute. It's a pastel green that's really nice looking during the daytime, so law enforcement and rangers, they don't need to talk to you because you're communicating to the public that you're a nice hiker by wearing that really pretty green color. And then at night, that particular green like turns invisible and you really can't even see it. So this one is white. I didn't do the due diligence of going on the internet and looking at exactly what this material is being called on the Mountain Laurel Designs website, but basically it's a Dyneema Cuban fiber hybrid. Now people have stopped saying Cuban, maybe because there's a country called Cuba and there's people who are called Cuban people. So people have stopped using the term Cuban fiber because for whatever reason, nobody's really come out and said why we don't say Cuban anymore, but this is a Cuban Dyneema X hybrid. I can tell you that Dyneema X is an excellent pack material. It's extremely lightweight. It has a great tensile strength. It doesn't tear, it won't pull apart. It's got a tensile strength that's stronger than steel. And it doesn't gain weight when wet. Now I know that that's a sensitive issue on forums like BPL. If you say this material doesn't gain weight when wet, somebody will like get it wet and weigh it and say that it did gain weight when wet, etc. But this one that I've got here, this is a Dyneema X Cuban hybrid. It's white. It's kind of like 75 denier Cuban fiber, if you remember that, in white. So I haven't seen it yet. I haven't used it yet. And I'll open it up. Let's just open it up. You know, the New York Times, they say that it's very soothing and therapeutic to watch people do unboxing videos, that it like soothes your you know, people are kind of capitalistic and they want stuff, you know, everybody wants like a Christmas present, and it's just, it helps to just watch somebody open it. It's like smoking a cigarette just to watch somebody open up something new. So, you know, just remember that, you know, a really good mountain bike costs like $3,000, okay? This is $150, and this is the fanciest Core 22 in the world. This is the most expensive one, more or less. I mean, I got one water bottle pouch, I got the webbing on the back, and I got it in the hybrid material. So, you know, it's only $150. It's about the same price as a pair of Ultras. And this is as fancy as it gets as far as day packs. This is probably the fanciest day pack in existence. I don't purchase a lot of Z-Packs. I have a Z-Packs wallet, and I have bought a few knickknacks from Z-Packs, but you know, this is as good as it gets as far as I'm aware. So let's just open it up. All right. So, this Ian Sinclair foldable knife this credit card knife is crazy. It's kind of flexy. All right, here we go. Oh. neighbors are constantly working on these woods, man. They're constantly cutting it and loading it into trucks and what have you. Oh, I can't even close this one. What happened to my knife? All right, there we go. All right. It looks good. Here we go. Boom. All right. So, yeah, it's a lot tougher. Give me a minute. My neighbors are so loud. Just give me a second. Alright, so right away, I'm totally surprised by this product. It isn't lighter than the Wasabi Green. Martin Laurel Designs makes this pack in Wasabi Green, black, and this, the white. This is heavier, obviously. It's obviously heavier. I think that this is more comparable to what they sell from... I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look all this stuff up. I can't remember anything right now. But basically, this is a really tough pack. This is a pack that isn't going to rip. You know, just by looking at it, that's what I think. It's basically, it's thicker than 200D Dyneema. It's like the 200 Dyneema X threads, and each thread has got some kind of polymer on it to cause it to be more waterproof than usual. So, you know, the way that Cuban fiber is constructed is that it's got Mylar in it. So it's like Mylar with strands of Dyneema printed onto it. Really, really thin, lightweight Dyneema, like I have in my wallet. This stuff here, you know, it's only got the minimum amount of Dyneema threads printed onto the Mylar, and it's pretty evident that the threads are there. Actually, see, I can actually hang it on my finger. The threads are kind of coming off, and I can hang it on the threads. Okay, this is Z-Packs, the blue Dyneema. This is not like that. This is kind of like a bed sheet. Okay, it's got strands of Dyneema, and they're printed with like a loom. You know, like with like a normal. It's a normal thread count. You know, like that you would buy from Macy's, but it's Dyneema. And the Dyneema is so robust that yeah, the inside is shiny and the outside is like luster. So, yeah, I couldn't really put my finger on exactly how this was constructed, but this material. But basically, you get kind of some of that Mylar type of shininess on the inside, and the outside has got that kind of robust Dyneema threading on the outside. It's more of a texture on the outside and silkier on the inside. It's nice that smooth surface on the inside does make it easier to shove your stuff into your pack. Be advised that, should be aware that Mountain Laurel Designs uses a really heavy duty type of adhesive to hold their materials together, and it can dry kind of hard, and it can kind of cut in, it can jab your fingers when you shove stuff in here. The glue can kind of poke you in the fingers. Also, the reinforced polyester threading that they use right here, okay, this is reinforced polyester threading. This is like basically like extremely tough threading. You could seriously carry gravel in here. You know, I wouldn't recommend carrying gravel in this pack, obviously. There's better things to do in life than to carry around gravel. But you know, this is tough stuff. This thread doesn't rip apart. So for instance, this is all I've got right now. I lost my other Core 22, so all I've got is my Gossamer Gear. This is a Gossamer Gear Summit pack that's made out of Robic, and the threading that's used on here is very minimalistic. I don't even think it's polyester, and it does snap. So let's see. Right here. Okay, so you see how the lid is coming off? That's from putting heavy gear items in the pack. This pack is only for ultra lightweight. But my opinion is that these nylon packs, the Robic packs from Austin, Texas, from Gossamer Gear, this gains weight when wet. Okay, so I've got the Rucksack in here. Okay, this is a minimalist pack from Gossamer Gear that's made out of 7 denier reinforced nylon. When it came out, this pack received a write-up in Newsweek or something. This was a relatively famous pack at the time it came out. And this is a 16, all right? So this is a true 16 flat sack. One of the things that makes it so comfortable is that it makes a barrel shape. When you pack it full, it creates the shape of a barrel, and that lifts it away from your back. It doesn't really look cute, but it's not sitting flat on your back. The Core 22 is similar, but one thing that people don't realize is that this is not a flat sack. It's got this framed out, it's not framed, but it's sewn into a shape. There we go. So where the bottom is kind of like a half circle shape, okay? So this half circle shape on the bottom here, that causes the back panel of the pack to lay flat on your back, and that makes you sweat a little. So, you know, this pack appears to be very waterproof. That's going to cause kind of a puddle of sweat to collect on your back in between the pack and your back. That means it isn't really, really comfortable to wear bareback, like without a shirt. And it also means your shirt is going to get kind of wet on the back. Another aspect that I was about to say is that the reinforced polyester stitching will shrink in the washing machine. So if you get these packs grungy and you put it in the washing machine and you transfer it from the washing machine to the dryer, the reinforced polyester threading that you see here, this is going to shrink. And it like shrinky dinks. So the Dyneema itself, it won't shrink. It'll maintain its original shape, but the threading shrinks. So at the line of the threading, like here, that will shrink and pull this length short. And what that does is it kind of makes like a bubble shape where the threading that creates this shape is shorter than the material, and the material kind of bulbs out. Okay, it kind of makes like a skylight, like a bulb shape. So you want to avoid putting this in the dryer. You want to hang dry it, because the different materials that are used on the pack, they don't shrink at the same rate. So some of this stuff will shrink, like the threading, and the Dyneema doesn't shrink, so it kind of changes shape and it loses its custom handmade shape that it comes with when you first buy it. But overall, first impression, bottom line, unboxing this pack, I would say it's heavier than the Dyneema, than the Wasabi Green Dyneema. The Wasabi Green Dyneema is extremely cute. It's also extremely stealthy. You can't see it at night, and it looks great. It looks really cute during the day. If you're busy running errands, going to Whole Foods or something, you want to wear that Wasabi Green. The white also looks awesome. It's awesome for the ski lift. It's snow color. But this is a little heavier. Okay, now the big difference as far as waterproofing is that the Wasabi Green is not waterproof, but it doesn't absorb any water. So it doesn't gain weight when wet. Now, some people might complain and say that that's not true. It does gain blah, blah, blah. I would say it doesn't gain weight when wet. It's still really, really light when wet. So as far as your gear gaining weight inside the pack in the rain, that would be an issue of your gear just not being made out of Dyneema. The Dyneema pack isn't going to gain weight. The gear inside your pack might get wet and gain weight because that Wasabi Green is not completely waterproof. Now, this hybrid, it appears to be more, I don't know if it's completely waterproof. I don't know if it's as waterproof as a plastic bag, as like a Ziploc bag. But it's looking very waterproof. It looks really waterproof to me. I mean, if I had a tarp made out of this material, I would be very confident that I would be protected from the rain. But that's just an unboxing. That's just a first glance. That's what it looks like when I first look at this thing. Yeah, I'm impressed. It's a really, really tough pack. I'm trying to think of the other brand. Hyperlight Mountain Systems. Okay, so Hyperlight Mountain Systems sells packs that are made out of a tough waterproof material similar to this, but those packs cost like the same as a mountain bike. They're like $1,000, I think they range from like $400 to $700, $900. This is 150. And just to put things into perspective, okay, this is 16 liters. This is a Ricksack 16. This is a 22, okay? It's obviously not a 22. This is more like a 35, okay? It's awesome. This thing is awesome, and it looks really cool. I'm gonna put my gear in here. I'll transfer my gear into here, and we'll see what it looks like for a second. All right, so I got a jacket. I got my stoveless cook system here. Got my vape and my toilet paper. Got the Be Free, all right. And I got a freestanding tarp here. This is a tarp, a custom tarp from Bear Paw Wilderness, and these are the tent poles. They're like bivy hoops, okay. Got some soap. All right, I got the this is the Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer 40 sleeping bag. I really, really like this. This is really like the most incredible outdoor experience I've ever had. Also relatively inexpensive, 400 bucks. In comparison to like other brands cost like 650. This one's only 400. You don't need a shelter to use this. The hydrophobic down that's inside of the Ghost 40, it doesn't need anything. You can sleep directly on the dirt with this thing, and you don't need to bring anything else. So, you know, it's awesome. I love this. Here's my tarp. All right, this is my shelter. I don't bring this, but I have one. This is it. Okay. And got the axle. This thing pops. If there's a pebble on the ground underneath where you're sleeping, this will pop. Give me a second. So yeah, this is a great air pad when it has air in it. When it doesn't have air in it, it's not great. It's terrible. Don't forget to bring your patches with you if you bring this, because it doesn't have a little sleeve for your patches. If you leave the patches at home, you'll be sleeping on the ground. The patches are very easy to use, and the holes that this air pad get in it are so big, they're about the size of a nickel. So each time it pops, it's easy to find the hole, and the patches basically look like little stamps, and you just put it on there, and that's it. You're back in business. But if you forget the patches, you're out. You're done. Okay, and that's it. All right, so let's just let's transfer the stuff in here. All right, got the Ghost. All right, got the axle. Okay. Oop. Got the tarp. I'll put these in there. Now, okay, this is something I forgot to talk about is Cuban fiber punctures extremely easy from anything sharp. This soap dish right here is sharp enough to puncture Dyneema, or Cuban fiber, specifically Cuban fiber, okay? So I'm sticking these tent poles in here. Normally I wouldn't. You know, this is a Cuban Dyneema hybrid. I think it is tough enough to handle sharp objects, but normally Cuban fiber can't. So just be aware that any hard object, a tent stake, tent poles, anything tough, anything hard, rigid, that isn't soft and made of fabric, will puncture a hole in your Cuban fiber. So I'm sticking this stuff in here thinking everything is cool, but I haven't used this pack yet. There is a chance that you're gonna get holes in here. Now, it obviously isn't waterproof anymore if it has a hole in it, especially if you fall in a river or something, okay? So, I'll stick this stuff in here. All right. Okay. All right, stick the jacket in here. Soap, TP, cooking. I cook mostly fish and sausages in here. All right, and the Be Free. All right, now what I do is I roll this thing up and I clip it across the pack. okay, like this. Snap it, roll it up. Okay, the backpack straps are right here, so that's kind of like as far as you want to roll it. And then I clip it across normally. Okay, now that causes this donut shape in the top. That donut shape has like an incredible ability to grab downfall. As you're crawling underneath trees, this thing unavoidably grabs onto it. It just grabs it and grabs it and grabs it. You walk underneath the tree and you go, ugh, and you get like stuck on it. Okay, so the trick is I cross them under like this. It's difficult to do because you can't see through the backpack straps. But I just clip it like that. Okay. All right, and what that does is it pulls the top towards your shoulders. That's correct. You know, I know that it's popular to put your heavy items in the center of your back. That isn't the old school style. The old school style of framed out packs is to put your heavy gear items like your stove. The stoves used to be heavy, or maybe your DSLR cameras. They're usually a pound or more. They're kind of heavy. You put that stuff in the top. Okay, the top is very flippity floppity, so you want to pull those heavy items basically towards the back of your head, and that's what this does. When you clip it under the straps, it pulls the heavy items that are at the top of your pack towards your head, towards the back of your head, and you just put it on. Oh, let's see. All right, you put it on like this. Okay, so that's it basically. Yeah, it has a sternum strap. Okay, all right, that's basically what it looks like. Okay, just like that. Oh, it's really light. I mean, yeah, this pack is slightly heavier than the wasabi green. It's also brighter, it's white, which isn't great for stealthiness at night. If you're hiking along a ridge and there's a ranger on the other ridge, they're gonna see you because your pack is white. And at night, they're gonna see like something white walking across the trail. But so what? You know, I mean, you gotta put it into perspective, like how stealthy do you wanna be, you know? It looks cool for snowboarding. It's the same color as the snow. So, and it's also pretty tough. As far as waterproofness, yeah, I mean, I could run water on it and see, I could fill it with water and see what happens. But anyway, it also comes with this. This is pretty cool. The reason I got this isn't for water. I got this for my t-shirts. If I want to wash my t-shirt, I need to hang it on the outside of my pack, and I thought that this would be a better option. I'll stick my shirt in here. It's pretty tough. It's a little bit stretchy, but not too much. It's kind of a tough pack, a tough little sack. It's got these interesting things, these clips. Like once you clip this on, you can't get it off. That's one of the weird things about it. So, if you're gonna clip this on here, just make sure you really want it on there, because it doesn't really come off. But yeah, put it on. Put it on just like that. Okay. Ta-da. Okay, that's basically it. The sternum strap, same thing. This is the sternum strap right here. Just be aware that there is some print on your sternum strap. It says flex on it. If you're a perfectionist, you kind of want that facing up. I guess it faces like this. And so you just put it on. Let's see here. Yeah, I put mine on up top. Okay. Check it. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. This looks like a waist strap to me. That doesn't even look like a sternum strap. This is wrong. Let's see. What's this thing? That looks too wide to me. Well, anyway, is that right? Nah, it's this one. I don't even know what these are. That's wrong. These are waist straps. These are belt straps. Take that off. Okay. It's this thing. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I guess it fits like this. Okay, and then. All right, so that's correct, like that. All right, now watch this. I wonder if that's right. Let's see here. Yeah, that's wrong. Let's see. All right, so now gotta put this back on. Okay. All right. This one, it kind of looks like it hooks on kind of low. Like here. Yeah, I guess so. I'll try that. See, they're kind of difficult to get on. Once you clip it on there, it's on there. Alright. I guess that's right. We'll clip it on there for good. Once this is clipped, it doesn't come off. Boom. Okay. Alright. This is basically it for me. I got this other stuff, but I don't use it. I just use it like this. This is pretty much the whole setup. Okay? Just like this. Alright. Got the, this is the webbing. I have this already. I think I ordered some of this from Gossamer Gear. I have some. They don't put it on for you, but I don't know, I could try putting it on just for the video. Let's see. Let's see here. Now, one thing you should be careful of is that there's some frayed edges here. Whenever you melt the frayed edges of your line close to your Cuban fiber or your Dyneema, be careful because the stuff is kind of stubborn, and if the burning embers fly off, they put holes in your kit. So my freestanding tarp, luckily the holes are in the corner, but it's got some holes in it. So I'm just gonna let's see here, I'm gonna bust this out. Yeah, I'm not gonna melt it. I'm not gonna melt the line once after it's on the pack because it's too risky. So I got a lighter here. Got a lighter right here, but I think this lighter's dead. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay. Man, look at all this stuff on here. How does this work? Okay. All right. So yeah, just be aware that. And anyway, for better or for worse, this stuff needs to be melted, and you don't want to melt it near your kit. It is harder to work with the line after the ends are melted because it doesn't fit through everything anymore. But at any rate, I'm just gonna melt that. I don't know. I think that's fine. Yeah, you just want to be careful with this thing, man. If you go hog wild with this stuff, the melted pieces of plastic, they fly off and put holes in your other gear. Okay, so now that's melted, so it won't fray, but it's difficult to work with now because it's kind of bulbous. Anyway. Got a bunch of options here on how to get this to go on there. You got to read like Boys Life magazine to know how to put this on there. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Try it. And then it goes like that. What the heck? What? I guess it goes like this. Yeah, shoot, now this is like impossible to feed through there. I got it. Alright, I guess it looks like that. Okay, so it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. All right, so let's try this. Let's go. Okay, just like that, and then do it again. Okay. I've run out of sections. I guess I'll put it through here. Oh, I got one more. Let's see. So a little side note, if you're familiar with the Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer jacket, it's famous for having a lot of swamp factor in the wrists. And what I found was that when I forgot my Core 22, I noticed that the Ghost Whisperer was functional. It didn't have swamp factor in the wrists. The wrists didn't get really sweaty. They were like properly ventilated. So basically, it's without the pack. If you wear a backpack, even a very, very lightweight backpack like the Core 22, it reduces the amount of ventilation coming out of the wrists on the Ghost Whisperer jacket, and the jacket ends up getting really sweaty in the wrists. Without a backpack, without any backpack straps pushing down on the Ghost Whisperer's shoulders, you have proper ventilation, and it's like a really comfortable jacket, really functional. But overall, the Ghost Whisperer 40 bag, it's a lot more functional than the jacket. The jacket is not really as famous, or the Ghost Whisperer 40 sleeping bag didn't really become really famous, partially because a lot of people felt like the Ghost Whisperer jacket had sweaty, swampy arms. But the sleeping bag, the 40 sleeping bag, the Ghost Whisperer, is actually way more awesome, I think, than the jacket. The jacket is cool. It's a good jacket. I would be crazy to criticize the jacket. There's a ton of technology in that jacket, but the sleeping bag is really the sweet spot on the Ghost Whisperer series. That Ghost Whisperer 40 sleeping bag is like the coolest thing I've ever. It's the coolest sleeping bag I've ever had. I thought I think it's called the thermostatic. I had the polyester thermostatic Mountain Hardwear sleeping bag, and I thought it was like the best thing I ever owned. And the Ghost Whisperer 40 is way better. So, all right, so one more. Let's see here. Alright, well, I'm not sure if I even like that. I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure if I did that right, but basically this is kind of like the mesh pocket on here. This is what you get. I'm not sure what's pulling this in. I don't know about that. It's okay. I'll have to fine tune that later, but anyway, there it is. Okay, and then the pocket, this thing, it goes on. I guess this goes here. It goes right. There's like a little divot right there for it. Okay. That's it. All right. Cool. Love it. This is the Mountain Laurel Designs Dyneema X Cuban Hybrid Core 22. One of the best backpacks in the world. I love it.